The news this morning, never a good thing to be in the news as a media host, but that's the situation here today. The the weekend has been the weekend has been tremendous. A lot of things have happened on the weekend, and there is so much to say. I'm constrained. I'm constrained by a few things. And if I tell you how many times my professionalism has been tested over the weekend, you wouldn't believe me. And I've been reasoning with myself, myself is tired of me because I've been talking to that self so much over the weekend. Yeah, and there's a part of me that just wants to just act and to say and to. And then there's a part that says, George, professionalism is the best way. There is no substitute for that. And even though you can be robust and you can fire shots professionally, the reason I'm saying what does appear to be obvious, that professional should remain professional, is because the desire to just hit back and hit out at many things and many individuals and to call individuals by name publicly, yeah, there's a strong temptation to do that. But professionalism has won the argument, I can tell you. This matter concerning the national debates is, of course, what I'm talking about. And I can tell you that at 10 this morning, Cliff, as the CEO, will have a lot to say about this issue. I am constrained, so I'm not saying anything. Cliff will deal with it. We had that discussion after 4 this morning. He called, and we agreed that, this is the best way to play it. Suffice to say that alongside the wrestling with myself about this issue, as certain things came to my understanding, I was doing a lot of reading on polling and polling data and trends and how polls are positioned at a certain time of the electoral cycle. And I came here saying that, notwithstanding the debates issue, I would prepare myself to talk about polling this morning. But things have happened overnight that sadly have pushed the polling issue one side. What I will say is this: the media has to be careful. The media must take care to not be pitted, media house against media house, individual journalists against individual journalists. Because when that happens and we are at daggers drawn against each other, that is when the democracy suffers. And then that is when those among us with ill intent, those destroyer of institutions to rebuild institutions in their liking or to their liking, or to destroy institutions to replace it with institutions that they have built and then and which are then beholden to them for building it. That's what they do. They win. And we have to be careful. And the temptation to go nuclear is so hard. But the reason you should resist the temptation to go hard as a media practitioner is because in going hard, you will not be able to help damaging your profession and your colleagues. And sometimes your colleagues are innocent, but based on how things are positioned, you blame your colleagues for certain things, and you really ought not to. And I will not do that. I've said here before that, I'd rather take an L personally than say anything that will damage my profession. And I'm honest saying that to you. I'd rather take an L than lambast one of my colleagues on air. I may take up the phone and do it personally. But publicly, no, I'm not doing that. But sometimes, there comes a time when, Kenny Rogers is hit coward of the county. Tells so many stories in one, you know. There comes a time when a man is tired. A man is tired of the buffing. Sometimes you have to hit back in the most base way. And one of the things I will say this morning is this. Experienced journalists in this business who love to lecture people about mistakes. When a media host or a journalist makes a mistake, they're quick on their phone lecturing. They're not telling you that, boy, you know, you could have done this well. No, it's lecture. And when they themselves let down their profession by some careless actions, they should look into themselves. So that's my message this morning to the experienced ones among us who don't like to advise because in their heads, I mean, they are next to oxygen in their greatness. And they love lecturing. And then the mistakes that they make are fatal to careers and reputations. Just have a look at yourself this morning. And those, they know who I'm talking. Yeah, I'll just say as much as that. Beyond that, I say again, journalists have to stick together. Stick together don't means that, you know, you take boycott action together. It doesn't mean that. I mean, people have their own ambitions. People have their own individual roles to play. People have their own narrow purposes. That's fine. So it's what individualism means and is. What I will say is that we can't allow the political forces to get in and amongst us to do things that cause us to slaughter each other publicly. And I ask this morning that whatever we do, we be mindful of that. And I ask you, the listener out there, to look around the media landscape. Acknowledge what you like, what you dislike. There are people you like, there are people you dislike. There are entities you like, there are entities you dislike. But ask yourself, if the health of the democracy does not mean that you can turn off who you don't like and turn up who you like. Happiness. You are free to do that. That is a healthy democracy. And that's fine. Not everybody loves us or likes us. But nothing wrong with that. We live and we thrive. We strive. So when I say the nationwide supporter is so important to what we do, don't take it lightly because, you know, without you, we would not have the strength to lean on. We wouldn't have that bulwark that we need. We'd feel lonely. The reason we can come here and do this job, notwithstanding the pressure that we are under, the tremendous pressure, existential and otherwise, is because we know we have you. So you are very, very important. So we take the cussing when you cuss because you're entitled to as a consumer of what we produce. We take the suggestions. We take the praise. We take all of it and understand that in a relationship, in a family setting, it's not all hugs and kisses every day. Sometimes there's tough love to dole out. We give it, we take it. But a country must ask itself, what kind of democracy are we running? When we will sit down and consume something, say for instance in a national debate, and we are comfortable with individual media houses being blacklisted by individuals who believe that them run things. Them run things. Weeks ago I said right here that the reason September 3 is so important is because several careers are on the line. I said it right here in this chair. I said it right here, this chair. And I know you believe me when I tell you that. Several careers are in jeopardy. And so desperation is the name of the game. And anything that people see as an obstacle to them completing their mission is going to be rejected, is going to be resisted. And many people see us as an obstacle to them achieving their goals and aims. I don't want to sound all over the place this morning, but even though I'm talking to you, I'm still struggling to still having that conversation with self. But I've told myself, let the CEO deal with this matter. And he shall at 10 o'clock this morning. I will respect the constraints that I have put on myself and that have been imposed on me otherwise. And I will say, this country deserves better than is being shown to us, demonstrated to us by certain actors in the society. The country should not be comfortable with any one media house, any group of journalists being blacklisted from a national debate. That's all I'm saying. That's just my simple message this morning. Yeah, we should reject that. And I'm saying as well, those who have spent years fighting us, months fighting us, weeks fighting us. There are some messages that they send to some individuals here, some private messages. If I show them messages, you probably go fight them for me on my behalf. Because I say, what? They really said that? Wickedness behind the scenes. And I say, so what if we really come here every day and say, all right, we're going to fight, you know. Since you say we are fighting, we're going to show you fight. But we can't do that. We have to be professional. Because it's because of professionalism why all of you who love Nationwide come here every morning. It's not because of the perceived bias. You don't come here because, yes, it's a bias station. No, you come here because with fear. That's why you come. You come because any side that gets it wrong can rest assured that we will be there to say you got this wrong. And we'll beat you hard if you get it wrong. That's why you come here. And that's what you love us for. And we'll never change from that. So I'm saying, the one them we fight with every day and go up on platform and call with name and do this. What if we did the same thing? Yet, we're not afraid of nobody, not true. Teflon make on the skin. I'm just saying, the code of the county. One day the man go in at the bar and lock the place and just start beat left, right, and center. I'm saying too, no? One day. But for now, professionalism. Professionalism.